welcome you back to Veteach channel. So now let us see the last topic of the first unit, global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness, GLOBE. So in the present scenario, one way, let me put it in this way, that we are living in the competitive world today. So we are practicing our business in a very globalized way, whereas in the good olden days we used to confine our business within the boundaries. But now, because of the changing trends, an Indian firm is ready to operate its business in US, or a US business firm is ready to operate its business in Russia, or a Russian firm is ready to operate its business in Sri Lanka. So this kind of situation, the global environment where the businesses are having no boundaries, as long as there is a clarity and you have a base of customers to receive your service or to receive your product, so you are given a free hand to operate your business across. So in such kind of situation, so we have to develop a global leadership. Means a person, like suppose if we take the example of Satya Nadella as an example, the CEO of Microsoft. So basically, who is an Indian, is heading an international MNC organization, Microsoft, which is having its presence in almost all the continents of the globe. Similar like Sundar Pichai from Google. So these are the global leaderships. Means these people, they are supposed to work with the Indians, they are supposed to work with the Japanese, they are supposed to work with the Koreans, they are supposed to work with whatnot, any individual across the globe. So such kind of scenarios, we need to identify the specialized skills which can make the individual to project himself as a global leader. So this particular concept helps us in understanding. So as the definition it is given, global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness is a long-term, multi-phase, multi-methodological program of cross-cultural research designed to conceptualize, operationalize, test and validate a cross-level integrated theory of the relationship between culture and societal, organizational and leadership effectiveness. It is a very lengthy definition. Just if we can see one by one, long-term, multi-phase. If you want to become a global leader, so you have to have a very rich experience with long journey in the domain area, and you have a multifaceted experience. Means you supposed to have a overall understanding of the different levels of the people who are going to work in the organization, and you should experience their expectations as well as their aspirations. Multi-methodological programs of cross-cultural research. Cross-cultural research. Just if you can happen to see the Google homepage today, as so whatever the local festival it is there, you will get the pictures of that particular festival, or any local importance it is there in that particular country. So you will find the information much related to the particular area. It is a cultural impact, aspirations and expectations of the people. You are making that particular product be very much localized, very much nearer to them, or making them that is their product. So these are some kind of approaches which make you to keep upfront of your profiles. Cross-cultural research designed to conceptualize, operationalize, test and validate a cross-level integrated theory of relationship between culture and societal, organizational and leadership effectiveness. So let us see what are these one by one. So here this describes a global mindset and explain how to build its three component forms of capital. So if we want to define ourselves as a global leadership, we have to concentrate on three important components. Let us see what are those. So before this, identify and describe the 9 cultural dimensions from the globe. Globe, it is the global leadership on organizational behavior effectiveness. So then we have to see the differences between individualistic cultures and collectivist cultures. So first let us see what are those three capitals. One is the intellectual capital, next one is the social capital, and last one is the psychological capital. Any individual, he wants to emerge himself as a global leader and wants to show impact on the effectiveness of the organization performance. So he is supposed to possess these three capital assets: intellectual capital, means he should be highly knowledgeable and he should be very much qualified and he is very skilled person. Social capital, he has to have very rich background, societal capital, social capital in the sense. So he should have a very conceptual understanding about the demographic areas, the geographic areas, the social areas, the cultural factors, the religious importance, everything he is supposed to have an idea. Then psychological capital means he should understand the pulse of the customer. The pulse of the customer of an Indian customer and pulse of a customer who is from Japan or a pulse of customer from a African country. So they are going to be with different interests, different tastes, with different habits. So their culture, their lifestyle, their food habits, their time zones or their interests, everything it differs. So psychological capital, it is one such capital or one such area which makes the global leadership to understand the various different habits or the practices of the different individuals. So these three are the most important areas any global leadership is supposed to focus: intellectual capital, social capital and psychological capital. Most of the times, if you can observe the recent developments, particularly from the Microsoft or the Google as an example, if you can take it. So the people who are heading these global organizations, so they have had a very rich experience, high intellectual knowledge, and they have a complete idea and understanding about the social areas, as well as they have work cultures as well as the habits of the people who are living in the different continents across the globe. So this helps them to design and define the work policies in the organization to move forward. So the societal cultural in the sense involves shared values, norms, identities, interpretations that result from common experiences of the members of collectives that are transmitted over time. So societal culture is shared values, norms, identities and interpretations. So in some of the nations we find the people are going to talk in a very low volume, whereas on the Indian context, if you can observe it, we never mind whether it is a public place or it is a private room, but we are going to speak in a very louder way. So it is our practice. So the norms, identities, interpretations that result from common experiences of the members of collectives that are transmitted over time. So in continuation to this, if you can observe the cultural influences on organizational behavior, how the cultural influences that are going to influence the organizational behavior, the social cultures related to the customs as well as the language. So economic or technological settings, political or legal setting, ethnic background, religion. So these are related to the societal culture, whereas organizational culture, individual differences, personal values and ethics, attitudes, assumptions, expectations. So these are the organization cultures. From this we move to the outcomes as outcomes at three levels: individual level, group level, organization level. So if I am alone, so I have my own individual thoughts, I have my own individual interests and I have my own individual feelings. But if I am in a group and if the group is comprising of some maybe 10 people and out of these 10, some 6 or 7 people are voting for one particular option, though I am against to it but not interested, but as I am in the group I have to obey it. Whereas organizational, so when if you consider organization as a whole, the entire organization is comprising of maybe hundreds of the employees or thousands of the employees with different mindsets from different cross sections of the society who came and working under one particular roof. So their interests or their practices or their habits cannot be given the consideration, but the importance will be given more for the organizational objectives, because all these people, they are working with one single objective, that is the organizational objectives. So the cultural influences with respect to the economic or technological settings, political or legal settings, ethnic background, religion. Political and legal settings in the sense, like suppose if you want to do business in a particular area, particularly in the global scenario, if you can observe it, if you want to start your business in other neighboring country, So you supposed to understand the political stability in that particular country, the legal sanctity of that particular government which is working there. So particularly if you can take the current scenario, like suppose as you are interested to go and invest in Afghanistan, as there are a lot of opportunities. But do we get that particular confidence to go and do that particular thing right now? No, never. Because there are some kind of political issues where these political issues are throwing a focus on one particular area, that right now there is no proper law and order situation, or there is no guarantee that you will get back your investment because of the unforeseen situations that are happening in that particular place. So these are the political or the legal things, ethnic background as well as the religion. Religion in the sense, so each and every individual, he respects more about his religion, his religious practices or his religious customs. So these customs or these religious practices, they are going to influence the work environment, whether you are as a personal individual or you are in the group or you are in the organization, and it is going to show more impact on your personal values or on your attitudes or on your assumptions. Let me stop this global leadership on organizational behavior effectiveness. Thank you.